Hi, and welcome to Diversity in the Community. I am so excited to have with me today April Williams. She's a member of my church, a young lady that I've watched, a beautiful young lady, and she has a story to tell. She's the owner and founder of Nina's Balloon
Emporium.
Emporium.
Yes.
I think I'm saying it right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So April, welcome to the program today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad to have you today because you have a very inspiring story.
Mhm.
But before we get to that, I want you to tell people just a little bit about yourself.
Yes. Okay. So I am first and foremost, I'm a mother of two wonderful children. My son just graduated high school on the way to college. My daughter is a sophomore in college, so I'm very proud of them. I am a early retired educator of 23 years. And now I am full time in my balloon business, and my balloon business has been around almost 5 years. So I'm excited about this new journey.
All right. Now, what out of all things that you could have been doing after you left out of the education, what inspired you to become a balloon professional?
Yes. So the, there's a backstory. So we were preparing for my mother's 60th birthday, and so I had to fly down to Houston for that. And so with the preparation, we had to get people in place to do certain things. And so I actually secured a balloon professional down in Houston, and they canceled at the last minute. So we still wanted balloons, and so my sister and I, we were putting our heads together what we're going to do. So I said, okay, let me go on YouTube and see if I can do what we want to have done.
Yeah.
And so I did, and that was my first time. YouTube make everything look so easy, but it really wasn't. It really wasn't, because it actually took me 3 hours to do the balloon garland that I did for my mother, which now only take me about 25 to 30 minutes now. So, with time and, education, you get better.
Right.
But at that time, it took me 3 hours. But on the way back to Connecticut, I was like, I need another stream of income, number one. And then I love balloons, because when you see balloons, what they do, they make everybody smile.
Yes,
they make you
exactly.
happy. You just feel a certain way when you see balloons.
Right.
And so I started researching and just looking at different things, because YouTube, you can go on YouTube and you end up going down a rabbit hole finding so many things to inspire you. And so I did that, and then I ended up finding this lady named Joette out of Florida. She's a balloon coach.
Okay.
Yes, and so
Balloon coach.
a balloon coach. Yes, and
Okay.
so she has her own. She was in the business starting in 2003, and then she sold her business and now she does full time coaching. She's been doing full time coaching for 8 years now. So 20, yeah, 8 years. So 2015 she started coaching.
Okay.
And so I found her on my search, doing my research. And so I was part of her free group at first. So she would give some tips and things about the balloon business, things that you need to know. And then I ended up becoming a part of her coaching sessions, which is the Balloon Boss Mastermind.
Okay.
And that's something I pay for monthly, because we have at least 4 or 5 coaching sessions a month, which is training. She brings in other balloon professionals just to talk about the industry, and then how to run your balloon business too. So that's the good part about it, because on YouTube you can get the design piece from it, different trends and things like that. But how to run a business successfully, that's what she really boils down to. And so that's what I do right now. And so that's how I kind of got into the balloon industry, and I'm glad I did.
What intrigued me about some of the things that I read about you is not that, just like you were saying, you see people put a balloon, you figure they just blow them up, put them up, but there's so much information that we're going to talk about later that you know about balloons, not just blowing them up and making it look pretty, but you know about the safety of balloons, the types of balloons. So I was very intrigued about that. So we're going to talk about that a little later. Another thing, you were in education for many years. And so I have to, before we go any further, have to talk about how your faith comes into this, because you walked away from. You even assisted in what my son is working in the school system now too, but for someone to walk away from a job, steady paying, getting that steady paycheck and all of that, and be able to walk in which somebody would say, they walked away from that type of job to do balloons?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I want to hear about. How did your faith come into this, and that you knew that this was what you wanted to do, Just tell me a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So, oh gosh, it definitely was a faith move and definitely is still a faith walk. So whenever I decide to do something, I pray first. I always pray first because I know that, sometimes you get in your own way and it's like, oh, I'm tired of this. I'm sick of this. I want to do this and do that. So I prayed. And so it's been 2 years in the making because when I did the balloon business, I didn't realize how lucrative it was. And then the fact that me having to work my full-time job and trying to do this on the side too, like I was making money as a full-time person doing the balloon job part-time. And so, I'm just like, because I'm always looking at numbers. I'm a numbers person. So I'm looking at the trends of what the business is doing. Yeah. I'm just like, Lord, this is good. And then so also the things with education, I feel like after the pandemic, the system, things have just changed so much. Right. Education has just changed so much. It's definitely not the same as when I got into it 23 years ago. And so I prayed. I was like, Lord, I need a change. What should I do? And then so it's like the desire was just started brewing in me to do this full time, especially with me looking at the numbers and then just talking to various balloon professionals because I'm still scared. I was scared and excited and it still is at times, but I remember we were in Houston. So let me rewind. Last year, 2021, I said, this is going to be my last year. Then the Lord was like, no, not this time. So when we got to Houston, we went to Houston for Thanksgiving for the first time in 20 years, back in Thanksgiving. And so I was just by myself in the room and I heard the Lord speak to me. It's like he gave me a release to go ahead and leave. Yes. And I was like, wow. I was like, really? And it was just shocking. And so, because I wasn't expecting it. And so things started, progressing and things started, doors started opening and just things, I began to get clarity on what I need to do next, right? And then so and I was talking to my principal about it too, and she kind of like, April, you ready? You ready? You ready? So she was kind of in tuned also. And then finally I made the decision May 2023 that I was resign. I say retiring because I'm kind of done with it, but retiring from education. And so it was me praying and just hearing from the Lord. And I said, Lord, okay, I'm gonna do this scared, but I know you got me. Yeah. I know you got me. Yeah. But I was excited at the same time. Yeah.
Did you have any people that say to you, you're doing what?
Oh, gosh,
Are you kidding me?
Oh, my gosh. They say balloons? You make that money in balloons? Because I'm just going to be transparent. I mean, because I finished my career as a school administrator, and we make over $100,000 a year. And so, just looking at the trajectory of what my business was doing back in 2022, I was like, wow, I can probably do better. Wow. With just my business. Wow. And so that's where I'm at.
What a blessing, April.
I know, yeah.
What a blessing. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Now, can you tell me, and we probably talked about it, so can you tell me about your background and experience in working with balloons?
So as far as I really didn't have any experience as far as just going to, because all I know of was Party City. You go or buy some balloons from the store, you blow them up with your mouth, and that's about it. I know that I love balloons though, because when you see balloons, they just make you happy. They bring a different, feel and touch to the event. And so that was pretty much all the background that I had. And so that's why I said when I had to do balloons for my mother's party, it was a struggle, and I was like, oh gosh, they made it look easy on YouTube. And I was like, it took me a long time, but now I feel like I've been doing it forever now, with the amount of time and the things that I've learned from my coach and then just doing a lot of research.
Before your daughter went off to college and your son got out of school, they were kind of helping you with it too, right?
Absolutely. They were in the business. So my daughter actually named the business. So I had them really involved because I really want them to see, what it's like to run a business, to do various things, just to expose them to those things, because I wasn't exposed to that stuff. So I try to expose my children to things that I wasn't exposed to that will actually help enrich their lives. So yes, they worked in the business. By the way, my daughter does not like balloons. So she was not the one helping us to inflate. She did for a minute, and she was like, I can't take, because she don't like to hear them pop. Yeah. And so she doesn't like that. So what she did, she actually designed our website. So she's in college right now for graphic design.
Oh my God.
And so she designed our website. She taught me how to just go in and make edits and things like that. So if you go to our website, you'll see all of what she's done there. Yeah. And so she'll do some of the background work with us and go and help us set up. But she really won't touch the balloons. And my son, he pretty much does the photography, and he inflates the balloons. He does that. That's what he likes to do. And he'll help do setups, and he'll go and do our takedowns too. So they are both involved. And when she's home from school, she gets back involved and, help out. And I do pay them.
Oh, good.
People yeah. Do you work for free? No, my kids will not work for free, because they'll be like, Mom, when are we getting paid?
and your son loves to talk, so he would be a good person to do your commercials or something about your balloons.
Yeah, so he was at one point doing my social media, and so he kind of backed off because he's trying to do his own thing now. Yeah. But he's getting ready to leave for school in January, so I actually will be probably looking for some help pretty soon.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. Yeah. Now, are you familiar with different types of balloons and their material and the uses? Because like I always, when I thought about balloons, like you, I thought you just go in and get at the store and you blow them up. But even in these, I see the different types of balloons. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So basically, you have what I have here are latex balloons, so which are more the rounder balloons, and then the shiny ones are more the foil mylar balloons. So the foil and mylar balloons last longer because of the material, but when you want to dispose of them, just make sure you dispose of them correctly and put them in I usually put mine in make sure you put them in the garbage, and not so that they won't get caught up in the environment or whatever. I do not do balloon releases. So if anybody call me, ask me for balloons for a balloon release, I will not do that. Because what happens is when those balloons release, they end up in the power lines, they end up messing with animals in the environment. And so I just try to stay away from that. So I have turned down people, and, they were like, they got really upset with me. And I'm just saying that's just something I don't support. So that's one of the things we do not do. So if you want balloons to do a release, I'm not your person. I am not your person.
Okay.
Yeah. But these here are just some of the most popular balloons, the foils and the mylars, because we also have what we call orb balloons. They're just bigger balloons that are shaped like circles, and then we have some balloons that are called boba balloons. They're like clear plastic. So there's so much about the balloon industry that's beyond what you see, but you really won't know unless you just do the research and really get into it.
That's what I liked about when I was reading about you, that you really did your homework. And you know about it. Now, can you describe some of the most creative or challenging balloon projects you worked on in the past? A lot, huh?
Well, so the one thing is, you always want to make sure you go to a job prepared, because a balloon could pop. So we always bring extra balloons. You always want to make sure you have the right material. So like Home Depot, actually Lowe's is my best friend, because I get a lot of my balloon framing from Lowe's. So when I'm going on a job, we want to make sure we have the appropriate framing. So as far as challenging, it's if
Can I stop you right there?
Yeah.
What do you mean by framing?
By framing, so like if we have to build a balloon arch, so the upside down U, I use some of the material from the electrical department, the electrical PVC, and then so I use EMT. I actually use plywood to make my bases, because it gives a bigger footprint and it helps us to be more sturdier.
Wow.
And so I have the store cut that up, and then I end up bolting on my flanges and things like that onto my bases.
So you ain't taking just those Scotch tape?
No. I feel like I am a woodwork person right now.
Oh my goodness.
So some of the things that this job has caused me to do is to really work on my handy skills.
Okay.
Because I'm building things. So the bases I'm building using the bolts and screws, the flanges that I get from Lowe's. And so there's so many things I buy from Lowe's to help in my balloon business. And so especially with the framing. But one of the challenges is if, we forget something. And especially if we're far off. So it's like, I'm glad both of my children can drive now. So that's a good thing.
Okay.
So I'll send them back to get it. But as far as challenging, I feel like we've been blessed to just have like a lot of smooth sailings. Not saying that we haven't had any bad things happen, but everything has been pretty good. Like some designs that I've done, I probably not excited about, but I feel like people are like, oh, that's beautiful. And so my eye sees different than others. And so I'm like, okay, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, everything I've seen that you've done has been beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
How do you stay updated on the latest trends and innovations in the balloon industry?
So through education, number one. So with my balloon coach, we are a big balloon community. So these are people from across the country, outside of the country. We have people as far as Australia, part of the group. And so we're constantly asked. So we can go into the group and ask questions about, how do you do this? How do you tie this knot? Or how do you attach this to the ceiling? How do you make this? So things like that. So the education behind that is key. Also, I'm always on Instagram. So because everybody's showing everything. So I'm connected to quite a few Instagram, I guess you can say, influencers throughout the country who are really popular and who are showing their different designs. And I'm just like, this is trending now. So this is what's happening now. And so that's how I try to stay abreast of different things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What kind of creations have you come up with? Well, you told me some of them, but tell me some of the creations you've come up with using your balloons. Okay,
so these are different. These are called our marquees. This is our standard size marquee, and the one behind it is like I'm just gonna move this to the side for a second. And the one behind it is like our mini marquee, and these are really pretty good for like gifts. Instead of buying helium balloons, because first of all, helium is really expensive, so I kind of dialed back selling helium balloons. So these are air inflated, by the way. These are air inflated, and so they last longer. Air inflated balloons last longer, and so these are really good for gifts and things like that. And so these are some of the creations that we've done. And again, through education, that's how I learned how to do these, and that's how I learned the different designs. The other things that we have. So when COVID hit, we couldn't. People weren't doing things inside. So as part of the balloon group, one of my coach, she introduced us to what we call party poles. So it's a piece of PVC with balloons on top. And so during COVID, I sold about $7,000 worth of those.
Oh my goodness.
And so they aren't as popular as they are now, but like if someone wants some kind of staple thing just to stick outside, because they're pretty good for outside. If you want like let people know the party is here, put the balloon structure here. So that's what they're good for. Or you can put them inside. I just have to create a different type of base for it. But those are some of the most creative things that I've seen just by me coming into the industry. Because, you see the balloon garlands, the nice garlands, the arches, the columns, things like that. But those are the most creative that I've seen.
Who would have ever thought balloons was so interesting?
Look, and even just doing my research, I just found that, oh my gosh, I get shocked all the time when I see different things. To be honest, I'm like, it's some more stuff that we could do. So, it's always evolving, evolving. Yeah.
Wow. How do you handle customer requests and customization? Can you give an example of a particularly unique customer request you fulfilled?
The most unique, so customization would be, we will put names on different things, or some of our corporate clients, they want their logos on balloons. So I don't know if you go to my website, you'll see one of Liberty Bank. We've done balloons for them, and so I have a
Liberty Bank.
All right.
All right. I love it.
And so it was the challenge was trying to do their logo, because their eye is shaped like a torch. And so I'm just like, how am I gonna get this done? And then had to do it a different color. So it was research behind that, but we accomplished it and they loved it. And so that was one of the challenges.
But what do you find if somebody wanted a torch? Are there balloons out there that look like a torch, or how do you?
So if there isn't, since I couldn't find a balloon that looked like a torch, so what I had to do, I have to use a Cricut machine, which creates different letters and shapes and things like that. And then they're vinyl letters, and then on the backside it's sticky. There's an adhesive, and so I placed it onto the balloon, and so therefore, we customize it that way. As far as customizations of balloon structures. It's really what the customer and I discuss at that moment. Like, I don't have arches that, like, all of my garlands look different. Yeah, so there's not one garland that looks the same.
Okay.
So it's all about what color the customer wants in color. So what happens is I have people go to my website because it now creates a workflow for me to keep us on track, so we won't lose anything. Because if you calling me saying this is what I want, okay, I'll take that, but I also send you redirect you right back to the website so that you can get in our workflow process. Okay. So they go to the website, fill it out, and so that questionnaire gives me a lot of things that I need. And then if I have more questions, I will end up calling them or communicating with them that way.
Okay. How do you manage time and resources effectively when preparing for events with tight schedules?
Woo! Okay.
Ooh, I know that's got a lot behind that.
Absolutely, because so I'm gonna tell you, since I've been full time, I feel like I've been having a hard time managing my time.
Okay.
And which is strange because you would think I'd had more time to get it together. Yeah. I feel like I have a lot of time. I'm in front of my computer a lot, researching, just trying to make sure the systems I have in place are on point, and just doing all of that. But as far as for a job, what we do, we always inflate before we go on a job. We rarely, if we're inflating on a job, it's because a balloon has popped, or if like our bigger 36, 24-inch balloons, we don't like to travel with those because they are prone to popping quicker. Okay. So we'll inflate those on site. But for the most part, most of our balloons, we're coming with balloons inflated so we can, maximize our time on site. And so that's what helps us to, be a little bit more efficient. And then so the inflation on site is not as much, because I do have seen balloon artists bring all their stuff and then just inflate on site. We don't really do that. But I feel like now what I need to do, we have to get a bigger vehicle, because now people are ordering more. So I still want to remain efficient. So I want to bring more balloons on site inflated versus inflating on site. Because you never know, because we use an electrical inflator. And so you never know if electricity is available, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you're outside or something. So you just never know what's available to you. So you want to just make sure you're prepared.
See a van in your future.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Speak it.
Lord. I was going to say, are you familiar with different types of balloon gas, such as helium, air, and specific applications?
So we have, why am I drawing a blank? So there's helium gas that we use. There's another one, and it's slipping my mind, that's being used too. And why is it slipping my mind? Oh my gosh.
Helium gas, helium and air.
So we definitely use it. So all of our things, these are air filled. Yeah, this is least expensive. But as far as the other gas, it is slipping my mind, and I can't think of it because I don't really use it, because I use helium the most, because I use a company out of Hartford to get my helium from. But it's slipping my mind, and I can't think.
But I've learned so much. Yeah, even that little piece slips your mind. I've learned so much sitting here talking to you. It's very, whoever would have thought. When you go and see all of this stuff, you never think about all that's behind it.
I know you don't.
When you were talking about going to Lowe's and messing with wood and PVC pipes or whatever, that never would have crossed my mind. And so I have much more respect for that.
I know people, because even when people call me and, they're like, oh, that's a lot. They say it's just balloons. I was like, no, it's not just balloons. It's the time. First of all, it's the education I had to get to make sure your stuff is correct and right? And then on top of that, there's the time put into it to build your structure that you want. And so it's so much more than just balloons. I feel like balloons are the final product, but it's so much that goes goes on in the background.
So now, if you had to do a huge display and the thing is over, the people who had you do it don't want to keep the balloons, what do you do with all that stuff? I know you don't let nothing go up in the air, because we already talked about that. So what do you do? You just stand there and just
we pop on site.
Okay. Do you need a popper? I mean,
we just use scissors. They actually do have something called a striker.
I'm retired, so I can.
Do I need a person to come pop? So you know what? Let me tell you. This is one of the directions I'm going into with the business, because I have my son doing this, and I know he's getting ready to go to school. So events that we have to go back to take down, I have him go, because I don't want to be out there late at night and whatever. And so now he's going to be going to school. So
Yeah.
That could possibly be your.
Wait a minute. First of all, I'm a senior. I don't see well at night, so that ain't gonna work for me. I can't go after hours to go pop the balloon. I can only go do it today, and it had to be right around the corner from my house.
Oh my God.
But that's very interesting too. You always wonder, because I've seen some huge displays that you've done. Even the one that was at you did the one for our church, the last for our for conference or something.
For conference, for the gala.
Yeah, that was a huge display.
Yes,
so things like that, you just wonder, okay, what happens when we leave here?
So my crew came back to take down.
Okay.
Yeah, because I stayed at that event. Okay. And so the crew, they came back to deflate the balloons and, take all the structures and put them back in the vehicle so we can put them back in storage.
I'm just learning so much. Yeah.
So, like I said, that's something that I want to move forward, probably end up moving forward with and really just looking into, because I don't like, you're in your bed at 10 o'clock. Well, for me, I'm in bed about 10 o'clock. So if I have to go back and get something, I'm just like, oh gosh, I'm dreading to go back. So I probably end up just hiring a takedown crew. Which I have kind of right now with my son. Yeah. But he's getting ready to leave. But
are you comfortable working in a team environment, especially when coordinating with other event professionals like event planners and florists and caterers?
Yes. And so usually when you're working with an event planner, they kind of have the, lead and know what they want you to do. And so, and which I appreciate, because I know I've been on some sites. I'm only there to do balloons. I have been engaged by people on site asking, what do you want me to do next? Where does this go? So I almost became like the coordinator of the event. And so, you really just kind of have to stand your ground and like, no, this is what I've been hired for. And so this is what we're going to do. And then if you can, sometimes we'll lend a hand to help in other places, but we just got to make sure what we're hired for is completed and done and taken care of. And so, I like working with event planners because they kind of coordinate that stuff on site and making sure that nobody's bothering you so you can get your stuff done. Right. And everybody's doing what they need to do. So they're organizing the crew. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And I know you, April, you're gonna say really what's on your mind. Listen, I'm staying in my lane. Okay.
Well, I try to lend a helping hand, but again, I'm not hired to do that. So let me do what I need to do first, and if we have time, we'll help out sometimes. Yeah.
Are you knowledgeable about any relevant industry regulations or safety standards related to balloon usage?
So for the most part, there's not too much, but I know in California has a certain balloon law. You have to make sure that balloons are a certain height or don't there's certain things that you can't use or have in California. And so if you are going to do balloon jobs in various states, you want to make sure you connect with the right people to understand what you can and cannot do in those states. But I know as far as Connecticut, we don't have too many limitations. Oh, okay. Yeah.
What do you enjoy most about working with balloons, and what makes you stand out as a balloon professional?
What do I'm gonna
other say, than your cuteness?
Other than my cuteness, yeah. Thank you. What makes us stand out is our customer service, because we really listen to our customers, and we really make sure I try to make my customers feel like that they are my only customer. And so I want to make them feel special. I want to make sure that they're heard and make sure that they're getting what they want. And we go above and beyond in doing that, because people always remember how you make them feel. And so my goal is to make sure you are feeling good, especially with the balloons, And so so that's how we like to stand out. And what was the other part of the question?
Let me go back to my paper. Well, what do you enjoy most?
And so I enjoy doing that too. But I enjoy when we're all done, because through the hustle and bustle, I know I get a little stressed, and sometimes my kids will be like, "Mom, calm down a little bit," you know. And then I'm very meticulous. Like I start messing with things, so like to make sure things are in the right place. Like I said, my eye is different from the customer's eye, so I see different flaws that they don't see. And then the kid, Kayla and Derek, they'll see it. Then they'll be like, "Mom, it's fine, it's okay, it's good." So they kind of get upset with me, like, "Stop being so meticulous. You gonna mess it up," you know. But I just like to be able to step away and look at it and say, "Wow, this is beautiful," you know. And it just amazes me the things that we can do with balloons. I still get amazed. I still get amazed.
And people that you've done stuff for, I always hear, they'll say April did the you know, the setup, and they'll talk about what a beautiful job you did. So just to let you know, so it is such a wonderful, wonderful thing. I want you to talk about your contact information in case anybody wanted to talk about your hours, how to talk about your just give people how to get in touch with you, and all that kind of stuff. You want to look in your camera.
Okay, I'll look over here. Okay. So right now we are home based. The goal is to open up a balloon studio pretty soon so that you guys can come and visit and see these creations at any moment. But right now we're home based.
I think you looking at that.
I'm looking at
the right side.
This one.
The right side. Yeah. The one all the way to the right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You gonna edit there, right?
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So our hours of operation. This is interesting because I just changed them since I'm full time. My hours of operation are from 10:30 to 6:30, Tuesday through Friday. And Saturday, we are pretty much appointment only because that's when we do most of our installs. Mondays, I'm trying to make that my off day, but sometimes it's a little difficult, but Mondays we're closed. And Sundays are about appointment only also because we do installs on Sundays. Yeah, and so those are our hours. And then to get in touch with us, you can go to our website, ninasballoonemporium.com. And then if you want to, you can peruse the website. All of our prices are on the website because I believe in full transparency so that there won't be any guessing games or guesswork of what you're going to be paying or things like that. The only variable there is if depending on travel, but you know, the mileage and how much we charge is on there too. So you can pretty much get an idea of how much you're going to be paying for balloons if you go to our website. And then if you need to contact me, my phone number is there, 860-325-2194. Or you can send us an email at ninasballoonemporium@gmail.com. And we are on all social media, Facebook, Twitter as ninasballoonemporium.com also. So we're pretty accessible. Yeah.
What message would you like to leave with a person that they have a dream or nervous about stepping out like you did? What would you know?
Yes. So I also have a client who was a good friend and became a client. She owns a transportation service. And I told her, I was like, I want to meet with you because I want to talk. I want to understand. I need some more business acumen, you know, because I'm always trying to talk to people because I always like to make sure I'm on top of my game and I'm doing things appropriately and correctly. And so she told me, she said, when you start a business, it's just like having a child. You know, you don't know what to expect. You have but you prepare, you get things together, you learn as you go as parenting because there's no handbook for parenting, right? And so when she told me that, I was like, oh, you know, it was an aha moment for me. And she told me this right before I decided to make the move to go full time, right? And so every time I get scared, I think about that because when you have a child, it's like, what am I going to do? When you're having a child, you think about, what am I going to do if my baby's sick? What am I going to do if this goes wrong with my baby? The same thing as a business.
Yeah.
What are you going to do if you don't get sales? Okay, so now you got to dial back, start doing some research, network, talk to people, find people in your industry who you can talk to see what they're going through, to get some advice from them. And that's what my balloon group does for me, you know, because I'm going to tell you, just be transparent. Like we just started getting more sales this week. So we had like a week and a half drought. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? Because it was kind of going good and then like it stopped. So I know our industry had ebbs and flows. It definitely does.
Yeah.
But it's almost like you need to make sure that, you have you're saving money, you put money to the side and things like that.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is, I would say, do it scared.
Yeah.
Do it scared, because you're always going to have that sense of fear, always wondering like, but what if this doesn't happen? What if that doesn't happen? Well, you never know until you step into it. Right. And then when you step into it, I'm telling you, I mean, like that problem solving gene, it picks up, it comes into play. And I'm just like, okay, what I'm gonna do next? What we're gonna do? This is what we're gonna do. These are the steps we're gonna take. This is who I'm about to call because I need some encouragement. I need some advice. And so it's all. I'm the type of person, I'm a head first person. So I dive in first and then try to figure it out. I don't know if that works for everybody, but I just have to get in and do it because I don't like to have that regret of, oh man, I wish I would have.
That's what I was gonna
ask you. And then like I always say, if this doesn't work out for me, guess what? I have 3 certifications that I can go back into the school system, which I hope I don't have to use, right? And so, but if it doesn't work, I can say I tried it.
That's what I was going to say.
I tried it. But to be honest with you, the way God has been working in my life and the way he's just been demonstrating, just showing his grace and his mercy, it's just been phenomenal. And let me tell you something. I went into this business, right? I feel like I'm a background kind of person, but I believe God has been moving me to the front. And I've been talking about him so much more too. And it's just because he's been showing himself so faithful.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Like I'm about to tear up right now because it's just been amazing.
Yes.
The things that he has been doing, like
even
just like with the sales, my prayer, like I have a mantra, God, put my business into the mouths and heart of the people to increase my revenue and sales.
Yes.
That's what I say. And I tell you, he just been showing out. He's been showing out. He show up right when I need him. Right when I need him.
The thing I love about you too is even when you're given a task at the church, you go with it wholeheartedly. I mean, no foolishness, whatever. You get the job done. Get it done. And when you do what you do for the Lord, he's going to bless you. And like you said, the piece that you were talking about, it would be a shame for somebody to go to the grave and be saying, oh, I wish I would have tried. I wonder what would have happened if I would have stepped out on faith. I wonder what would have happened. And that's exactly what you were talking about. You would hate to have your life over, you're real old, can't do anything else. I wonder what would have happened if I would have stepped out and on faith and did the balloon thing,
Yeah.
And so,
I'm going to tell you, my whole life is a faith walk because people always ask me, because I'm from Texas. It's like, how you end up in Connecticut from Texas?
Yeah.
By faith. By faith, because I went to school in Atlanta and I met a wonderful young lady that's from here. So we became good friends, roommates. Yeah. And then so I would visit here. And then so it was like the Lord was telling me to move here. And I'm telling you, and ever since I moved here, my life has just been a pure blessing. I mean, you have your trials and tribulations. Of course. Absolutely.
Of course.
But I don't regret moving. And people ask me, am I going to ever move back to Texas? As far as I'm concerned, no. Because this is where my life is. I feel like I flourished here. This is where the Lord has planted me. Yes. We have our home here. My kids are here. It's like He's positioned me in the right place, and my whole life has been a faith walk.
Yes.
I just got that revelation right now.
Yes.
Yeah, it absolutely has. It absolutely has. And so, I can't do nothing but trust him because he just been so good. He's provided. He's been the source. He just showed up.
Yeah.
And he continues to show up.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I would like to say that I really thank you for taking the time to come out. I knew you were a little bit nervous, but I wouldn't have noticed you were nervous. Oh my God. You could have done this whole show without me even sitting up there. You could have just like, hi, I'm April and this is what I'm here to talk about. But I would want to thank you seriously for coming on and taking the time to spend with us. And I am praying that your business will grow grow and grow because of your faithfulness, and you're such a beautiful young lady. By the way, I love them glasses, girl.
Thank you.
So again, I really thank you for taking the time to come down to Win TV to talk about your business, and I know it's going to grow. And again, because of your faith walk, and not just in your business, but your faithfulness at the church.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much.
So
I love our church, and I love my pastor.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So I thank you again. If you have any last words you want to say, and
just when you're doing this, stay in prayer. Because God will lead you. He will guide you. He will pray for strategy. He will definitely give it to you and show you what you do. He will order your steps, as the word says. He will order your steps. And so those are my parting words. And if you need any assistance, call me. I'm willing to help.
All right. All right. So you guys out there, thank you so much. In November, I think it will be 15 years since diversity in the community has been on Win TV. So I thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time. Have a great day, afternoon, whenever you watch this program. So thank you again. Bye-bye.